Hello everyone, very warm welcome to all of you. Students, imagine two students, one who is preparing full time for UPSC. He can devote 9, 10, 12 hours a day. He doesn't or she doesn't have any responsibilities per se, right? At the other end of this spectrum, you have someone else who is preparing for this exam while being in a job. This job can be a teacher, IT professional, even a college going student can be regarded as a job because you have certain responsibilities. So whom do you think has the more chances for selection, right? You will think someone who is preparing full time for UPSC will have better chances. And I don't deny the fact that quantitatively, the people who are preparing for full time may have better numbers. But at the same time, it's not about the same ratio. You cannot say about this ratio about the same thing about the ratio, right? You think the topper of this year, Anuj sir, previous year toppers like AIR2, Animesh Pradhan, or Shashti Dabas, all of them were preparing while being in a job. So it's not that you have to have full-time UPSC preparation to crack this examination, right? So in this session, I'm going to discuss how working professionals can make it through the list, right? What are the things that they have to do and what are the things that they must avoid, right? Overall, I'll also discuss the strategy that will be needed for the next UPSC attempt, right? Okay, so first thing is you have to understand there are certain things that you must understand before preparing for UPSC, before diving for the preparation if you are a working aspirant. There are some myths that we must burst before we begin. So the first myth, the major myth that is floating around is you need 12 hours daily to, or 8, 10, 10, 12 hours daily, right? It's not the number that counts, right? It's never about the number that counts. Obviously, it will help you if you are studying more, but at the same time, it is never about the number. It's more about the quality of preparation that you are having, right? So someone who is working full time, maybe 9 to 5 job, 10 to 6 job, it's not like they cannot prepare or they cannot get through UPSC, right? So this is the biggest myth that you have to destroy at the very beginning. Second myth, specifically for working professionals, is that somehow they have this idea that they have to resign their job if they have to have certain again, certain idea of getting into this list, right? If they have to resign the job, right? So it's not about that. Always remember, you need not resign from the job. There are so many perks of being in a job when you are preparing for UPSC. I'll come to that. And if you must resign, you have to decide the place, the time, right? When you have to resign. It's not that if you're just starting your preparation, then you have to immediately resign from the job. And most of the time, it's not needed. As I said, Animesh Pradhan, they never resigned from the job. Shashti Dabas, she was working in RBI when she was actually qualified, right? So it's not about resigning from the job. That's what, because I'll come to that. So I understand there will be limitations, but please, again, I'll come to that point. But before that, we have to understand, yes, these are the myths that you have to keep in mind. Then someone, again, many of the working professionals, recently only I was talking to a student who was working in IT sector, again, hectic schedule. But he also had this idea that I have to involve a lot of coachings, a lot of courses to get through the list, right? It's never about that. It's always about how good a system is there for you to help you succeed, right? So it's not that you have to join multiple coachings or courses for that matter. Okay, so this is again a biggest myth. Then you have this, again, certain people, specifically in so many industries, they think that UPSC is all about intelligence. It's never about that, right? Even if you are basically any teacher or basically any working in a bank or PO or whatever it is, right? if you already have a job, you already are above many of the people in India, right? So it's not that just the intelligence that is needed. It will be more about how regular you are, how disciplined you are, how good you are a part of the system, right? So these are some of the myths that you have to understand before you begin your preparation. Now, I have to ask you, online students, offline ones, all of you respond. How many of you have read more than, say, 10 books, including everything, right? 10, 12, 15 books. How many books you have read so far if you have started your UPSC preparation? Yes, Tarun, it will be there on YouTube only. So how many books you have read, including, it's not just books per se, it's about the material, right? What is the number that you have? For all the subjects, Shubham? Okay, that's good. Idea is I'm talking about the overall number, right? So you may have Lakshmikant, you may have some people even dive into DD Basu and things like that, right? For each subject, they have multiple books, right? But it's never about the quantity of the books or the quantity of hours you are putting in. It's more about how well you are doing in that exam hall, right? Even after this prelims, I was having a lot of discussions with the students, and students were saying, sir, books बहुत पढ़ी थी, सब चीजें पढ़ी थी, but still you are not able to clear, right? Many of them were not able to clear because it's not about how much you have studied before. It's more about the quality of studies that you have, whether you had the strategy, right? Yes, Ayansh, that's very true. So it's more about the strategy that you have in the exam hall, right? And for that, you have to have understanding of this whole exam itself, right? So UPSC doesn't care. In mains, you cannot write, I have studied these number of hours every day, right? You have to have the understanding of the topic. Yes, you can very much, Kuldeep, Kulvinder. You can prepare with self-study. That's not an issue. So we'll discuss how to do that in upcoming slides, right? How to, I'll come to that, how to plan a day for UPSC exam. I'll come to that as well, right? So it's not about how many books you have read. It's never about that. It's about whether you can reproduce whatever you have studied, right? So it's more about recall. It's more about being in the moment in the exam hall. Okay? Now, many people believe that being a working professional can be at a disadvantageous position for you, right? How many of you believe that, specifically if you are working? How many of you believe that your job stands in your way of selection? Please be honest. Yes? You believe that? Okay. Time kam milta hai? Okay. I'll come to this point as well. Time kam milta hai. Time is an issue, right? Okay. So I'll give you my opinion and the experience of all the students who have been there since last few years, right? So first thing is, I always believe if someone is already working, they are at an advantageous position rather than being at a disadvantage. Why I'm saying so? I know this can be an unpopular opinion, right? Why I'm saying so is, it doesn't matter if you feel like going to work. How many of you, again, feel this dread while going to work on Monday? Please be honest. And someone who is working in corporate, specifically IT sector or management or something like that, how many of you dread going on Monday? You feel that? Okay. How many of you loves to go to work? Okay. Yes. So again, as per my experience, sometimes you enjoy. Rudrank, if I may ask, if you love your work, what's the reason for preparing for UPSC? If I may ask. And that's a very good thing. And I just want to understand your mentality. That's why I'm asking this question. Right, I know many of you must be loving your work, but I always understand one thing. In your job, it tells you and teaches you one very important thing. Yes, that's a very good reason to be here. Thank you, Rudransh, for being here for the right reasons. So idea is, I know many all of you are human beings, right? Many times you may not feel like going to office, but still you go there. It tells you that you have this ability to show up every day, right? And that is what matters the most in UPSC. Because you have this ability to show up, I know many people in ORN, Delhi specifically, who are here for full-time preparation, but it's not full-time preparation per se, right? It's part-time job for them, the preparation itself. Sometimes they feel like studying, they study. Sometimes they don't feel like studying for weeks, they don't study. राइट चाय की टपरी पे बात करते मिल जाएंगे आपको फॉर आवर्स. इट्स नॉट अबाउट कि आप कम्युनिकेट मत करो, सोशलाइज मत करो, इट्स ओके, बट दे हैव टू बी टाइम लिमिट. बट द वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स हैव दिस leverage and advantage that they have this ability to show up every day, right? This is the most important thing that I understand that working professionals have. Okay, so you already have a routine, and this routine gives you discipline, right? So even if you are having a job, you'll know, okay, I have this much time, say 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours maximum in a day, right? And then you will strive better, you will focus better. So there is something called Parkinson's law, right? I hope all of you know about this. Parkinson's law. What is that? What is Parkinson's law? If someone may share their view on that. I'll come to that. If you feel like you have done justice in these 6-7 months and you're willing to switch back to your job, it's not an issue. And that's why we are having this session itself, Arban Kumar, right? So yes, so idea is, if you have a lot of time and I give you a work and give you, again, don't give you a deadline per se, so the work will expand itself to fill the time, right? It's something like this. So work will expand itself to fill the time. And that's what happens when you are not having any job or you are preparing for the UPSC for the full time, right? You have, okay, I have the whole day with me, let me go for a break, let me go for a coffee or a tea. And that break turns into 4 hours break. Sometimes you go for a movie and don't come back altogether the whole evening, right? But when you are in job, you exactly know you have very limited time with you. Okay? So this is an advantage for you. Third thing is, and it's a very important thing, that many of you who are working will have some sense of financial independence, right? I know many people who are working in wonderful companies, NVIDIA, again, so many companies, Cisco, Oracle, all that, right? McKinsey. But idea is they have this financial independence. After that, it's just a number. Because of that, they don't panic. Because of that, it's not like UPSC is the whole thing. You already have a life, right? So it's like an insurance for you. And when you have insurance, you tend to do more or less better, right? You know, okay, it's not like everything is on the line for this one. Sometimes it, again, works for some people. But again, most of the times, it may backfire. So it will give you, if you are not financially independent, it will give you a lot of guilt. Okay, I'm 28 now, I'm 30 now, I'm still taking money from my parents or friends or so on and so forth, right? And that actually backfires. That, again, lowers the productivity level when you are actually studying, right? So again, being a working professional will mean you have financial independence, and then you can actually give your best without much pressure, right? So exam dete samay haath kam kaapte hain un log ke. Then you have the emotional maturity. You already have a job. Again, in every job, you have to navigate so many things, right? Workplace politics, you fight for promotion, and all those things are going on, right? So you already have a better emotional stability, and that is what is needed in UPSC exam, right? So if you are emotionally stable, If you can manage your emotions better, obviously it will help you in ethics in writing emotional intelligence answers, but at the same time, in that exam hall, like this year prelims, right, it was a leveler. So you can make better decisions in that exam hall, right? So all this experience adds up, and this is the final thing. You already have decision making skills, and this is the most crucial skill, specifically in prelims, right? And that is why they are having this stage to filter out the people who cannot make a decision in a time bound manner. So they want calm people, right? So again, these are the qualities that working professionals have, and that make them, and I have interacted with so many, and along the years, so there have been some toppers as well along who have been working side by side, right? And the biggest advantage is these points only. Okay, but you'll question me, okay sir, if these are the advantages, why don't anyone who have experience or who is working qualify this examination? There's don't go into that, Adrush, right? Someone is asking, is there any chance to change the pattern, right? So idea is, don't go into that. It's a competitive examination. You have to do better than others. That's the whole point. Okay. So why do they fail? They fail because they copy the full-time aspirants. They copy that, yes, someone is studying 14 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, I have to do that. But it's not, again, if there are two patients having very different symptoms and diseases, they cannot have the same prescription, right? So for working profession, it's not like they have to do the same things in the same manner, right? So you cannot copy the full-time aspirants. You have to know your limitations. You have limited time with you, right? So you cannot copy them altogether. Second thing is, there is a lot of FOMO that is going on, specifically for these working professionals. They think they have not attended the coaching, right? They are not doing these classes or that course or that matter, or any course for that matter, right? And this gives them the FOMO, that I may not know this or that, right? But remember that it's not about how much you know. It's never about that. Maybe you know very little, and I have seen so many toppers who do not have very great understanding, but they have the knowledge and the application of mind, so that they use the same knowledge across papers, right? So again, don't have this FOMO. How many attempts you have given? Rubam Kumar, sorry. You are asking for some jobs, something like that. So I need to know little about you as well, right? Yes. So if you are, again, if you are working in a different industry altogether, if you want to work there, it may help you, but at the same time, you can also look into some jobs related to your sector in which you are preparing, right? So obviously, again, there are so many rules for that. Okay? But again, do a job that helps you. Don't rush for that then. You have just given one attempt, so it's at least give one full attempt with full dedication with proper direction, right? That is needed. Okay? Anything else? Shall I proceed? Don't worry about that, Rubam. So you have a lot of FOMO, right? This is what I was discussing. So don't do that, because I know even someone who is in Delhi, sometimes they end up on shopping spree, right? They end up taking so many books, but they don't revise that, right? Yes, Kashish, very much true. The application of whatever knowledge you have matters more than that. So again, I personally feel UPSC is one of the only exams where keeping your books, or again collecting the material itself, feels like preparation, right? I have collected these many books, I have collected a whole library, and this is why I'm preparing. This is the evidence that I'm preparing. It's not that, right? So don't have this FOMO you are losing out on something. Okay? Third major mistake is working professional, given that they are working 5 days or sometimes even 6 days a week, what they end up doing is dumping everything on the weekend, right? It's not needed. You have to have a system. You have to do something daily, and on weekends you have to apply that as well. Along with reading some new content, you have to apply whatever you're reading as well, right? It's not like I'll consume 14 hours, 15 hours on weekends. It will backfire, because again, you are unnecessarily adding up knowledge without actually application of mind. Okay. Okay. So what they end up doing is they end up not doing revision, they end up not doing consolidation, they end up not doing answer writing. So as I said, it doesn't matter how much you have read, it is more about how much you are able to apply. So someone is there who have maybe just covered 50% of the syllabus in the first reading itself, and they think, no, on the next weekend I complete the whole thing, then only I'll proceed. Or sometimes even people delay for a whole number of months or years, right? They don't write answers, right? So idea is, even if you are 50% prepared, apply that, revise it, consolidate it, give some marks, write some previous year questions, practice some MCQs, something like that, right? It's not like okay, Akshat, I'll come to this. So I'll give you a roadmap as well. Just bear with me for the time being, right? So don't ignore these parts as well. Okay, just dumping the knowledge on, dumping the content on yourself on the weekends. So you have to prepare strategically, not emotionally per se. Always remember this, right? So again, this is the common mistake, that they become emotionally charged. Ki I'm not, again, maybe I'm not doing enough, right? So rather than preparing emotionally, you have to prepare strategically. Okay? And then finally, have some confidence. Lacking the confidence itself is a major mistake that many of you commit when you are preparing with a full-time job, right? Don't lose the confidence. You can still do it. Many have done it, and with, again, flying colors. AIR 1 this year, last year AIR 2, so on and so forth. So it's not like if they can do it, obviously you can also do it. Okay? Chalo. So what you have to do, this is the major thing. You have to have 3 consultants with you, right? I have only, you do not need 4 attempts, Kashish. You do not need 4 attempts. If you have 4 attempts, you have more than enough attempts with you, right? And it is more than enough to qualify. You just need 1 seat in one year, right? So maybe give 1 year, or maximum if you are giving a working professional, maybe take a whole period of 2 years, that's all, right? Chalo. So what to do? You should have weekly consultants, right? So what is consulting? When you are, again, having a expert with you to get you where you want to go, and they will help you in that way. So you have to have 3 consultants. What you have to do on the weekly basis, what you have to do on the monthly basis, and what you have to do at least on the quarterly basis, so that you have a medium-term target, right? So having a medium-term target is very crucial. So start with any subject, we'll come to that, and then plan it accordingly. Don't plan it daily per se, right? Because again, sometimes you have a lot at office, sometimes you have, again, something going on in your personal life, your health is not well, so daily is not feasible per se, but yes, weekly things you have to maintain. Now, given that you are doing a job, I'm assuming most of you who are here are working professionals. So what's your timing of the job? If you can tell me, more or less 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, right? Yes. So most of you have that. So what you need to do is, first thing is, you have to understand, you have to eat the frog. So there's something called eating the frog. So the things that are most complex to you, right? For some, it may be your GS, it may be your optional, something like that. 7 to 4. That's good. Arundhati, that actually helps you because you have full stretch with you. After 4, maybe take a nap till 4:30 or something, and then you can stretch it till the midnight, right? So first thing you do in the very morning is you eat the frog. What do I mean by eating the frog? You tackle the most difficult subjects first. So make it a point. I know, there will be a lot of sacrifices, given that you have this luxury of the job alongside the possibility of qualifying UPSC, right? So you have to make some sacrifices, yes. So maybe make that sacrifice for 1 year or so. wake up at 4 a.m., maybe 5 a.m. maximum. Try to steal these 3-4 hours in the morning, right? Churana hai, because otherwise if you are not doing that, you are sleeping. And if you are sleeping, you are not doing any favor either to your employer or to yourself, right? Agar job kar rahe ho, ya to employer ka fayda ho ya apna fayda ho, right? So idea is steal these 3-4 hours in the morning itself, right? Ab isme kya karna hai? Maybe you can have 2 slots, maybe 2-hour slot for GS or 2-hour slots for your optional, something like that. Or otherwise, if you're comfortable, you can have complete 3 to 4-hour slot for your GS itself, right? Try this. I know it may be a little hectic, but again, this is the cost you have to pay. Okay? I'm not saying start in that way. You can start small, right? There's no issue in starting small. Maybe you start with only 1 hour. So all of you who are viewing this session, watching this session, make sure and that works fine for you, Arundhati, because again, you are not a morning person. You also have a job from 7 to 4. So again, it's okay if you are studying in the evening and the night. That's okay, right? What I'm telling you telling is for the others only. Okay? So at least start with something 1 hour, 2 hour before your job begins. Okay? Then you cope up this frog that you have. Then when you're commuting, if someone is from Bangalore, anyone who is from Bangalore or even Pune who's working, okay, is the traffic equally bad these days? I still remember when I was in Bangalore, and if it used to rain, Bangalore came to standstill, right? Even if my office is just 100 meters away, I'll need 1 hour, 1.5 hours, right? I hope situation has, yes. So again, it's sad. We are so-called the Silicon Valley, but again, we cannot have a better infrastructure there. But again, this is for some other day. So idea is, if you're commuting, use that. And that's actually a blessing for you, for Bangaloreans, right? If you are giving 2 hours for a commute, so first thing is, if someone is from Bangalore, if you are having 2 hours for commute, give 1 hour to your newspaper. Don't miss it, because newspaper gives you a lot of advantage in UPSC preparation. And someone who is a working professional maybe have an audiobook or something, Dakshika, right? Or maybe again, if you can hire a driver or something, I don't know, right? Or again, use something, carpooling kar lo, whatever works, because you have to give yourself time. This is the comfort that you have to sacrifice. Don't drive your car. It will pollute the environment. It will add to the traffic. And again, it is not working for you, right? So suggest an alternative. So first thing is, in commute, try to wrap up the newspaper in 1 hour. And then if someone is, again, I'm assuming 1 hour is a normal commute time. If someone is from Bangalore, maybe revise something that you have done the previous day, right? In the morning commute, you do that. Okay? Now, when you are in office, obviously someone is paying you, so you have to be very honest with them, right? But whenever you have the chance, say in break, right? So I know, specifically IT guys and all, they take a lot of coffee breaks, right? So instead of doing that, maybe you again try to do some flashcard sort of thing, revise something, right? Or try to brainstorm some answers, try to brainstorm some questions, things like that, right? So it's not like, again, you have your lunch time, right? 30, 41 minutes or 1 hour, something like that. So Shashti Dabas used to study in lunch hours in RBI, right? So use that lunch time, okay? In that lunch time, you can, again, as I said, either revise something, or you can add something in your preparation. Okay, maybe you have studied GS in the morning. You start with some previous year questions, brainstorming previous year questions, reading some toppers copies, or anything that you can do in that particular break. Okay? So I'm assuming half an hour you can get from your office time during your breaks or something. If you can get more, well and good for you. Then after coming back from office, during the back commute, either take a nap for 15-20 minutes, a power nap that I call. If you cannot take a nap, again, you do some revision. right? Try to make it a habit, maybe use a tab or something, that everything that you have is at one place. Okay? So maybe you have studied your optional yesterday night, and then next day during the commute time you are reading the answers, model answers of those optional or previous year questions of those optionals per se, right? So this will ensure that you have ticked your newspaper. This will ensure you are doing your revision. This will ensure at least some brainstorming is happening in those hours. After you come back, if you want to take a nap, you take a nap. Suppose you come back at 6, right? Suppose you start from your office at 6, you reach at 7 or 7:30. Bangaloreans maybe at 8. Doesn't matter. Okay. Have some food, or before that you have a nap of 20 minutes, power nap that you have. Don't sleep for 3 hours straight, right? Take a power nap here and there. Okay? Then have your dinner. Start your preparation, say by 9 p.m. or maybe 9:30. Try to give 1.5 hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you can for your optional now, right? In the beginning, you have to follow this schedule. Is this making sense? Right? So first thing in the morning, you tick your GS boxes. First thing in the morning, you tick your GS boxes. Next, so GS is sorted. Next, newspaper is sorted in Commute, right? Or someone, apart from newspaper, if you want to have an analysis of newspaper, we have at Vajiram, you have these analyst videos or something like that, you can refer that. Right? But again, this is not a substitute for newspapers per se, because again, when you're reading newspapers, you are reading a lot of content. You are reading not just the content, you are understanding how to write answers, introduction, how to conclude. When an article is written, it is written beautifully, right? They have knowledge of whole decades with you. Okay? So read newspapers. Then, as I said, you can take out 1 hour in Commute, back phase, and add at that 1.5 hour, 2 hours in the night with your optional. This is how you start, right? When you start this way, you will feel, okay, it is a bit exhausting. These are the plans for the weekdays that I'm talking about. So 5 days a week, you try to do this. It doesn't matter where you start from. Maybe you start from 2 hours a day to 3 hours a day to 5 hours a day. Doesn't matter. You start doing it. But yes, try to have this mix of bags. It's not like it is monotonous. Subah bhi GS padh rahe, raat mein bhi GS padh rahe. Or if you are doing that, at least have some days planned out. Okay, 2 days or 3 days I'll read my GS. Next 2 days I'll read my optional, something like that. So that it's not like, right? So that it's not like you are just checking one box. Okay? So when you are doing this, now I'm coming to one major aspect. Whenever you are studying any topic or any particular subject, you first start with your syllabus. So I hope all of you who are working on preparing for UPSC, you have a copy of syllabus of UPSC. So start with the syllabus. And whenever you are starting a topic, say you are starting basic structural doctrine, or you are starting preamble, or you are starting fundamental rights, whatever it is, you first see what kind of previous year questions they have asked, right? You first see that. Again, it will give you an idea. Okay, this is what UPSC asked. So it's I always say this: previous year questions are like letters that UPSC has given to these future officers. These are the letters. There are hints in those letters, right? So make use of that. So again, your preparation cannot begin if you are, again, do not have this command on syllabus and previous questions. Then comes the most important part, and this is where you have to differentiate yourself in the full-time aspirants. Full-time aspirants have this liberty to, again, sometimes even they don't have liberty, right? But they tend to do this. Keep pehle ye source follow kiya, then you have these sources, then you switch on to other sources. You do not have the liberty for doing that, because if you choose the wrong source in the very beginning, you are wasting your time, right? So make sure you are choosing the right sources. And there are so many things going on, ki NCERT, Sari Parni and all that. You don't need that. Working professionals, you do not need NCERTs in the very beginning, right? If you're not understanding Lakshmikant, maybe then you go back to Indian Constitution Network, right? And again, in this day and age of ChatGPT, I don't think anyone who has this resource, who is working, at least can afford mobile, right? And they can afford free version at least of ChatGPT or something, right? So they can explain everything in very lucid manner, right? So first thing is have a quality notes or compilation. Have quality notes on a particular topic or a compilation of a particular topic. Don't endlessly watch all the videos that is there on YouTube, right? Or on any class for that matter, right? कि सारी classes इसकी भी देख ली, उसकी भी देख ली, उसकी भी देख ली, doesn't serve the purpose, right? If you are watching any classroom program, say of Vajiram, I always say try to do that after the class, right? So that you can use at least 1x, 2x sort of speed, so that you can again go through the lecture very quickly. Okay? Your brain will adapt automatically. Okay? Then again, whenever there are some gaps, try to use Google ChatGPT to fill those gaps. But then at the end of the day, you can make some notes, right? Not in the first reading, but in the second reading or something. And that's why I'm saying compilation is very important. So suppose in Vajiram Step Up Mentorship Program, we are providing you some workbooks, right? Which already have very condensed, very easy to revise notes, right? So idea is make use of those notes, right? Make use of those notes to revise it frequently. So once either you make your own notes or you have already some very good quality notes, then you revise it multiple times. It may start with 200 pages, it has to come down to 50 pages or 30 pages in the very end, right? So that revision has to go. Always remember, it's like revision, don't skip revision. Working professional का सबसे बड़ा issue होता है that they feel this FOMO कि मैंने ये भी नहीं पढ़ा, वो भी नहीं पढ़ा, वो भी नहीं पढ़ा, and that's why they skip the revision. No, don't do that. Build brick by brick, right? अगर नहीं हुआ, हो सकता है थोड़ा सा धीरे हो जाएगा, it's okay. But at least you will have to retain more, because you will not have the luxury to come back to all this again and again and again, right? So first thing is use that. Then again, whenever you complete a particular topic, attempt some previous year questions, right? Attempt some previous year question. And again, this is applicable to both prelims and mains. So when I was talking about lunch breaks in office, try to at least see these previous year questions. If you have some idea, then you start brainstorming on that. Most of the companies do have libraries, right? So again, if you are working in an MNC, use that. You have a library, go in the library in your break, and then you start brainstorming those things. Okay? This is what you have to do. And then obviously you have to attempt test as well. Attempt the test on the weekends. So we have planned for weekdays. In weekends, if someone is working for 5 days, on 6th day you read as much as you can. You can have a lot of content, whatever you were thinking. Okay, it may take more time. Okay, suppose someone is having a sociology optional, pura marks complete kar diya, something like that. But on Sundays, you have to take some time out for actual application. So 5 days a week, you follow the schedule I have already given you. Then on 6th day, you add to the content. You add, you revise, whatever you want to do for consolidation. On the 7th day is the day of application. Dekho, isme I know you have to sacrifice a lot. You have to sacrifice those, again, getaways, those dinners, those movie. Again, sometimes you have to do that for, again, relaxing, but it cannot happen every day, every week. Okay? So this much you have to sacrifice for that. Is it making sense? Perfect. So this is the process that you have to follow. So what is the process? You have to follow the foundation. Start with any subject, say polity, economics, geography, whatever foundation subject you want to start with. Give particular time, say 20 days, 25 days, 30 days, and give yourself a time limit, right? Give yourself a time limit so that you, again, don't fall into that trap ki yaar bahut time hai, and I'll come back to that. And for that, I always prefer to have a good compilation with you. And we at Vajiram are providing wonderful compilation for that matter. Okay? Have the foundation and previous years. Then try to have this stronghold over static, because static will always be the king. Whether it's prelims or mains, you follow the statics, 80% of your work is done. Then you integrate your current affairs. Always remember, current affairs is not something very, something that is working in silo, right? Any issue that is showing up today, it's not like this is just a, again, a thought experiment, right? That issue should matter tomorrow. That should decide the outcome tomorrow, right? If something is happening today, it should also happen tomorrow. It should at least affect the results of tomorrow. Then it becomes an issue, right? Otherwise, it's just an incident. So you have to make sure that you are focusing on issues, and then you are developing the understanding on the issues. And for that, again, go back to the newspapers. You will have to analyze, okay, this is the newspaper article. Suppose drones in Indian security architecture. 5 years ago, it may not have been a topic, important topic. Right now, it is a very important topic. So again, you follow that. Integrate current affairs very smartly. Okay? Any doubts so far? Any questions? Dekho, Anjali, I understand that is something that we have to work on, and that's why I say this. At the end of the day, take 30 minutes out for yourself, or in the morning, take 30 minutes out for yourself, right? Journal something, listen to music, have some workout, something like that. Anything that, again, helps you unwind, that's okay. But rest of the time, you don't think about the result per se, right? You think about, because why you are doing this, you should enjoy that, right? And again, on that note, you should choose an optional in such a way that it helps you unwind from the office, right? That's why I'm putting this slot of optional after your office, because if you love your optional, you will try, again, you will even cut on your sleep and try to read that optional because it excites you, right? You are passionate about that. And again, something that is not exciting to you, that is not, you're not passionate about, you should not choose that as an optional. Okay? So always remember, how many hours are you working, Shukla ji? Okay, and you have 2 hours of your class as well, right? 2-3 hours. So first thing is, as I said to you, first take out whatever schedule you have. Maybe you delete 2 hours from here, right? So again, you are saving on the commute time, right? On those 3 days, try to, again, Rudraksh, we will come to that. If you have already invested so much, this is a very different question. I'll give you my number at the very end. We can have some discussions after that for specific things. So what I was telling is, if you are a classroom student also, you take out that 2.5 hours, you delete that from your from whatever I have told you, but rest of the things should be there as well, right? It's not like maybe you are studying 6 hours, instead of that you are studying 4 hours. But also, if you are in online mode, you can save up some time. 2x pe dekh lo, 1.5x pe dekh lo, something like that you can do. Okay? And then finally, obviously, as I said, you have to integrate current affairs very smartly, and then you revise on the regular basis. Okay? Because again, knowledge is often created when you are reading, you are brainstorming. But at the end, marks will be there only when you revise, only when you write it down. राइट तो मार्क्स नहीं आते पढ़ने से, मार्क्स हमेशा लिखने से आते हैं, रिवीजन से आते हैं, कंसोलिडेशन से आते हैं. ठीक है? बट वन मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज एनालिसिस, फीडबैक एंड इम्प्रूवमेंट. Because if someone is doing this preparation in say working in a company, if they do not have any method of evaluation or improvement, it will not make much sense, right? Because you may be doing the same mistake over and over again. Okay? So idea is you should have someone which can analyze your mistakes, which can fix those mistakes, and then which can help you to improve on your mistakes. Okay? So this is the broader things. So if you are going for newspaper analysis, how to read newspapers, I'll make some videos on newspapers analysis and how to read newspapers and all that. But for the timing, you should stick to the things that I've mentioned, right? This strategy you start with, and till November or December, suppose this is July, you give 20 days, 30 days to every subject, cover the foundation subject by September, then integrate those main specific subjects by January, right? So suppose you cover polity first, then economy, then geography, then in the next phase you integrate, you revise the previous subjects, and then you integrate governance, then you integrate environment in geography, something like that. Okay? Again, there are so many wonderful teachers of philosophy, including Vajiram, and that's totally your decision. And philosophy, again, you watch some demo videos of the particular teacher, you will get to decide for yourself. You take the feedback from the peers, from the toppers. Again, it will also help. Okay? Chalo. Now, there are some practical tips for all of you who are working professionals. First thing is decide early, right? Decide early. If you are planning to appear for UPSC, decide as soon as possible, right? Because given that you may have a little less time compared to others, so maybe you should broaden the horizon, right? So if someone is just starting today, maybe they can also think in terms of, okay, I have 2 years with me. But if someone wants to have the rank in the very first attempt, always remember you have to reduce the distractions that you have, right? So second point is don't just rely on the willpower itself. Okay, from today onwards, from next week onwards, I will study. It's not like that. If you're not committing the same thing over and over again, probability is you never do that, right? So take some help in that sense. Okay? Understanding. I know many of the students who say कि सर संडे को सारे वादे करते हैं आफ्टर द मतलब ये संडे हो गया अगले संडे से या अगले वीक से पूरा अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे बट दे नेवर डू दिस right and for that you should have an external system in front of you. So suppose if you're not studying, why are you not studying? Maybe you are scrolling your phone, right? Your phone will actually tell you you do not have less time, you just are not using that time very honestly. Okay? So idea is track your phone. If you're studying, put your phone in DND on airplane mode, or again put again when you are home, put it in a separate cupboard or a room. Okay? Yes, it will be there, Tanmay. It will be there on YouTube. Okay? So don't rely on external systems. Internal systems per se, willpower per se, develop the external systems itself. There should be systems to keep you in the right lane, right? If you are not studying, if you are not consistent, you should have an accountability partner with you. It can be your friend, it can be your mentor as well, right? Who tells you every third day, every second day, every fourth day to come back on track. Okay? Then working professional, I know it will be very draining exercise for you, given that you are obviously doing a job and then you are preparing. So save your energy, right? This is very crucial for you. In office, there will be a lot of things going on, right? Save your energy, maintain your calm, right? Don't do those things that will actually drain you mentally, physically and mentally, both of them. Right? Office politics में नहीं पढ़ना है ज़्यादा मतलब I'll suggest if you are not serious about that particular job and serious about UPSC, even you can think okay अगर promotion नहीं भी हो रहा है एक आध साल में, it's okay, right? Think in those terms. You have to lose some battles here and there to win the war, right? Think in that terms. So save your energy. If someone is unnecessarily, I know there are so many people in your job, they must be the same people who unnecessarily have a lot of debates कि मोदी ने ये कर दिया, Trump ने ये कर दिया and all that. Don't engage in that, right? Maybe you will feel good. Okay, I'm preparing, I can give them a very good answer and they will be impressed. Don't do that, right? So save your energy, save your time. It will actually help you. Then, as I said, there is immense power of small wins. If someone said कि classroom चल रहा है, it's okay. Start with 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour daily, whatever is possible. I cannot give you a limit, right? You have a job, you have to take care of yourself, and then you study. That's all you have to do. Okay? So, which question, Anjali? I'm full-time aspirant. Could you please suggest how should I? I told you, Anjali, 9 to 5 job है. 4 बजे उठो, 4 से 8 पढ़ो, right? Again, give 1 hour for all the things and then you leave for office. Try to give 3 to 4 hours in the morning. I'm not saying from the very first day it will happen, but gradually you should target that, right? हो सकता है शुरुआत 1 ही घंटे से हो, but give yourself a target. At least I'll wake up at 4 or 4:30 and then I'll start studying, right? That's what you have to do. ठीक है? बैठना तो है टेबल पे पहले. Unlimited work, I'm not. मैं job नहीं तो again normal preparation will do for you. You have all the time in the world. You start at 4, maybe you start at 6. If someone is not working full time and just a normal aspirant, so again there are so many things that I've already taught in all the other lectures. So you have you start dividing your day at least in 3 to 4 slots, right? 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, and 3 hours, right? If you are studying full time, at least 9 hours should be there, right? In first 3 hours, your GS. In next 3 hours, your optional, right? In next 3 hours, newspaper, application, revision, answer writing, whatever, miscellaneous things. Then gradually try to increase those number of hours, right? That's how you have to do. Pick a subject, apply whatever I have told you, start with previous year questions and your syllabus, and then read a quality content, and then again revise that content frequently, then revise, consolidate, write the test. Okay? GS optional takes a lot of time. I'm left. Bhavna, I understand, but that's what I'm saying. A journey of 1,000 miles have to begin with a single step. That step I'm asking you to take. Next day, tomorrow, wake up in the morning, try to deliver 3 hours for your GS. Believe me, Bhavna, even the students who are here in ORN do not study regularly 8-9 hours, more than that, right? And you can match at least 4 or 5 hours on a daily basis, and then maybe on the weekends you can. Arundhati, we will come to that. I'll take a session on newspaper note making very soon, right? How to read newspapers and all. Okay? Chalo. Then first and most important thing is, next important thing is you have to be smart enough, right? As I said, you cannot be competing with someone who is preparing full time, but you have to pick your battles. You have to be smart in that sense. Sometimes you are choosing the notes which are very quality, which are very dense, so that it will help you revise. Otherwise, you are again fast forwarding some videos. You are trying to again make use of technology, trying to make notes so that you can again even AI you can use to reduce your time. Okay? So again, all these things you have to use. Then something is very important, that you don't have to compare yourself with the peers. Any peers, whether it's who are working or whether who are preparing full time, you have to compare yourself with yourself only. How much I have delivered today with respect to yesterday. If I have studied 1 hour yesterday, I'll try to do that. I'll try to beat that tomorrow and today, right? That's how you have to increase, right? Don't compete with others, compete with yourself. That's how you should go about it. Otherwise, there will be a lot of anxiety, right? But again, start with that. And finally, yes, obviously you have to sacrifice all these things, your parties, trips, sometimes even promotion sometimes. So that is part and parcel. Okay? So I know these all things, if you can do it, you can clear UPSC. There's no reason that you cannot. Many people before you have done that, you can also do that. All you need is proper strategy. Don't distract yourself. You have to reduce your distractions. Okay? Yes, they do for at least some time. You ask your technical team for that web app, but yes, you can do that. Okay, this is what I recommend, but it's not like you have to do that only. It's not about just those 2.5 hours, because again, if you are in ORN, what people do is they come 1 hour before the classes, and then again after the classes they go to tea shop and all that. So they are effectively wasting 2 hours after and before the class itself. You are at least saving that part. Okay? But I know all this, whatever I have said, it's easier said than done, right? I know many of you will try, and I hope all of you will be able to execute it. But if someone is not able to execute it, after every third day they are getting demotivated, if they are not able to integrate current affairs, if they're not able to write answers, not getting the feedback, right? Then we have a step-up mentorship program for you, right, where we have a lot of working professional level students, and we actually help you again prepare in a very smart way. What we do is, first we will give you a structure. So one-to-one mentor will be given to you, who will talk to you, will understand your strengths and weaknesses, and based on that they will give you a weekly plan. Once that weekly plan is given, right, once that weekly plan is given, they will ensure that you are consistent. They'll ensure that you are consistent. How? Every third to fourth day, they will call you to see how you are doing. If you are facing an issue, if you are again going in the right direction, if something needs course correction, so that again you can come back from that. I know the mistakes will happen, but The more mistakes you can make here, the less you will make in the actual exam hall, right? That's the whole point. So every third day, fourth day, they will be calling you to see how you are doing, how your preparation is going. If you have any doubts to discuss, the mentors will discuss with you. At the end of the week, you are supposed to apply whatever you have learned, right? So application is the key. And from working professional, it's very important to apply from the very beginning. It's not like you are waiting for that perfect answer. You are waiting for the subject to get completed or multiple revisions to get completed. This is a process, right? So every 7th day, you come, write a test, or if you are obviously working aspirant, you write a test at home on your Sunday and then upload it. Either prelims or mains. Again, every week you will get a test. Suppose you start with polity, we'll give 5 tests for polity for prelims, 3 tests for mains. Right? So first week, maybe just give your prelims test, and then prelims and mains, so on and so forth. So this way, you will be integrating everything and applying everything that you have learned. Maybe you have completed 70% of the target, maybe you have completed 50% of the target, doesn't matter. Apply whatever you have learned. This is how you will improve. Now think of this as, suppose you are preparing for 27, you still have more than a year for your mains examination. So use all those weeks as iterative loops. Okay, I learn, I'll commit this mistake, I'll learn the mistake, and then improve in the next one. Right? देखो, mistakes तो होंगी, better है यहाँ पे हो जाए. That's the whole point. ठीक है? Yes, so this is an online program as well, Vaibhav. So mentors will be available Monday to Saturday. And again, for working professional, we will also help you on the weekend as well. So it's not an issue. But idea is, whatever you do, you have to have these 3 things in your mind. Structure should be there so that you are not, again, browsing this one day and then other day. So कि आज किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया polity में, कल topper ने कुछ बोल दिया, then you switch your sources, you switch your strategy, something like that. So always remember, it doesn't not have to be the best strategy in the world. It has to be the strategy that works for you. That's most important, right? Software में कोई होगा, you understand that software development life cycle होती है, right? So it's not like Facebook एक दिन में Facebook बन गया. There were several versions of Facebook. That's how you improve. Iterative improvement is the key. Maybe you'll start with 17 marks, 20 marks, 30 marks, that doesn't matter. But by every feedback loop, your marks will improve. Maybe 20, next time 50, next time 70, next time 100, so on and so forth. Okay? Vaibhav, that is very good. That is why I said ki start early. If you are working aspirant, if you are working professional, start early. That will provide an edge, right? Because again, you will have the urgency as well as the time with you. So Vaibhav, I hope to see you in the program soon. After this session, you can fill the forms, and if you want to connect with me, you can also call this number. Right, I'll show the number. But again, before that, I just want to mention, this is a comprehensive program. It's not just mentorship. You will get full current affairs for 1 year. You will get some essay workshops. You will get some CSET sessions. You will get previous analysis sessions, so on and so forth. You can read the brochure, right? So it's a complete thing for your GS preparation. Again, some workbooks that I said, the one-pager notes that you will need. Suppose if I have to ask you to revise society, right? You may need 7 days, 10 days, so on and so forth, or even polity, 15 days. But if I give you a very good material that is there in 70 pages, then you can revise that. Again, first read that in 2-3 days and revise that in 1 day. And then after that, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours. So this is the quality content that I was talking about, right? This is the key for working aspirants, because you do not have the luxury to, again, go through all the NCRTs from 6 to 12, and you need not do that. Okay, you should understand this is something that you have to do it for your every subject, so that you can prepare while balancing with the job. Okay, so again, these are some of the things. You will get smart current affairs classes. There have been so many topics. Also, यहाँ से लेके January तक you will have an integrated preparation. Post January, we will help you in prelims specifically, right? We will also give you prelims camp, which will have 60+ tests, right? After that, after prelims, you will have 12+ full-length tests, so that you can revise everything 3 times before your mains. And then again, if someone qualifies, this is an incentive for them. We'll also give some additional programs of Vajiram and Ravi, like a step-up advanced program, right? So these things will help you. So this is a kind of one-stop solution for all the problems of your GS, specifically if you are working aspirant. Okay? So This is all from my end. If you have specific questions left, you can ask, otherwise we'll wrap up this session. And those of you who want to join this program, you can go and on the Vajiram's website, and you can again search that. You can fill the form. We will right now we do not have any scholarship program per se, Rudransh, but yes, you can fill the form. They will help you connect with the person, and then you can discuss these things with them. If there is anything, they will definitely help you with. They will be happy to help you with. Okay. Anything else that you want to discuss? Okay, perfect. Chalo, thank you for attending the session. If you have anything in mind, I know working professional there will be so many doubts. You write in the comment box. This video will be there in Vajiram's live section. You write in the comment box the video on which you want me to make the next video, right? The topic on which you want that. Okay, so I'll try to cover these topics so that we can slowly solve all the issues that you are facing. Okay, chalo, all the very best. Take care.